CB on the mic. World Rule Talk. Yeah. CB break it down, yeah, the host with the vision. From the classics to the new, every film get precision. Obscure reels hitting gems, yeah, we dig in the vault. Every frame get examined, every angle we talk. From the old school grain to the high def shine. Indie flicks to the hits, yeah, we cover all time. If it's cinema gold, then you know we gon' say, hit subscribe, tap in, let the critics all play. Yeah, film talk strong, never fading away. World Rule Talk forever and a day longer.
Yo, what up, though? This is your boy C. to the B. coming at y'all once again with another movie review. I'm sorry, guys. I was supposed to have this out by Wednesday, but I had a lot on my plate, you know what I'm saying, between the music, working, and other obligations I wasn't able to get to it in time. I wasn't able to get to it in time. Today, we're going to be talking about the fourth and final movie of August, aka The Businessman. And that movie is The Pursuit of Happyness, starring Will Smith and Jaden Smith. So, what I want to do here, this is going to be fairly short, but because I haven't seen the movie in years, I was wanting to go back and watch this one before I talked about it. But I remember some things out of memory. So let's get to it. You know what I'm saying? So in the movie, right, it's about Chris Gardner, played by Will Smith. In the beginning, he's married. You know what I'm saying? He has a family, a wife, and a child. But in the movie version, his wife is actually portrayed, his wife is actually influenced by two different women in his life. You know what I'm saying? So in the movie, his wife was always complaining in the beginning, saying how she had to work double shifts and all of this just to, make ends meet. Because at the time, if I'm not mistaken, I think he had lost his job, or he was, like I said, it's been so many years since I've seen this film. But he was selling bone density machines. You know what I'm saying? And his wife, she got fed up and she left him with his son, you know what I'm saying? So in the movie, they portrayed whoever he was with, you know what I'm saying, in that type of relationship. It's a piece of shit. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, I mean, I know, you're fed up and you're gonna leave the man and all of that if he ain't, doing anything to help you. I get that. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But you left your child, and in the movie, they made it seem like she never spoke to them again. You know what I mean? So he was doing everything he could to get to where he needed to be. You know what I'm saying? So in real life, he didn't always have his son with him. The woman he was with, you know what I'm saying? Well, his son's mother had, custody of him from time to time while he was out trying to get himself together. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of things that I didn't realize. Like, when I went down the rabbit hole of this film, there was a lot of things that I didn't know that was going on in his life. You know what I'm saying? Here's a few facts right here I want to read before I give my opinions on the film. But it's short, but we're going to talk about it really quickly. So, But the first piece of the fact or article says the son's age. In the film, Chris' son, Christopher Jr., is portrayed as about 5 years old. In real life, Gardner's son was only a toddler, around 2 years old. 2 years old during their period of homelessness. So, in the movie, right, I think the reason why they portrayed his son to be 5 instead of 2 is because you needed a script. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by that is that you can't really hold conversations with a 2-year-old like you can a 5-year-old. Because a 5-year-old's speech is pretty much comprehensive as far as, them understanding you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they needed to boost his age up a couple years so it can make sense, I guess. You know what I mean? And plus the scene where they was in the public bathroom sleeping when he locked the door and somebody was banging on it trying to get in and use the bathroom. Yeah, that scene would have been harsh with a 2-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Even though that's what really happened. Okay, so the reason for arrest. The movie shows Chris getting arrested solely for failing to pay $1,200 in parking tickets. In reality, his arrest stemmed from a domestic dispute with his partner Jackie, after which he spent time in jail with the unpaid parking tickets, adding extra days to his sentence. So apparently, in real life, he was abusing. I'm assuming he was abusing his spouse. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like I wasn't there. This was like I think this was like the early '80s or so. So again, in the movie, you don't see any of that. You might see him bickering back and forth, but you don't ever see him put hands on her. You know what I'm saying? So when I learned that, you know what I'm saying, I was shocked. Like I was surprised. You know what I mean? But let's keep going. Where the Sun Stayed. The film depicts the father and son staying together through thick and thin, sleeping in bathrooms and shelters, side by side. In real life, during the brutal stretches of the internship, Gardner's partner Jackie took their son for periods of time, and Chris did not always know where the boy was or have him with him daily. That goes back to what I said earlier. You know what I'm saying? In the movie, it made it seem like they was together constantly every day. You know what I mean? Like there was nobody else to keep his son while he was doing what he was doing. But in reality, his son's mother had him from time to time, like I said before. But let's keep moving. The mother's departure. The character Linda, based loosely on Jackie Medina, is portrayed as walking out and leaving a child behind entirely to move to New York. In reality, Jackie took custody of their son initially, and the separation dynamics were far more complex. So again, you know what I'm saying? He was doing a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Getting into a lot of shit in real life. You know what I'm saying? They said he was doing cocaine. You know what I mean? I don't know about messing with prostitutes, but apparently he was cheating on his spouse. I don't know about that. Again, I'm just going off, the article and the film. You know what I'm saying? So this shit is crazy, man. Like again, before I came on here to do this review, I actually looked up some stuff about it. That's how, I'm bringing this to y'all because going down that rabbit hole was a shocker to me, man, because this guy has been through a lot. I mean, a lot. The movie, I feel like the movie doesn't even begin to touch on the shit that he's been through like that. You know what I'm saying? But this is the last part of it right here. The mother's characterization. The movie streamlined the relationship and painted the mother's departure harsher for dramatic effect, where areas the real life mother shared custody responsibilities at various points. So again, you know what I'm saying? They depict the mother in the film to be a piece of shit because in the movie she was a piece of shit. You know what I mean? But in real life, I don't think so much. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like this movie and this story needs to be talked about more. You know what I mean? It's a it's a hell of a inspirational story. Like near the end of the movie, well, in the middle to near the end, is when the guy that he was about to, intern, or the guy he was interning for, he didn't have $5 in cash to catch a cab or whatever. So he gave the guy his last $5, Chris Gardner. And so when he finally got the internship, right? You know what I'm saying? And he finally got the job that he wanted. The guy paid him back his $5 and everything was good. Now, if you watch closely in the film, like right there at the end where it shows him and his son walking down the street, and this a guy walking past in a suit, that's the real Chris Gardner. I didn't know that either. Like, again, I watched this movie more than one time, but I never knew that. Because, again, back then when I had this movie on DVD, which I don't even know what happened to, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of mad about that. But back then, I didn't know anything outside of the film. So I didn't know that. But if you haven't seen this movie, yo, definitely watch it. It gets a 9.5 out of 10 for me. You know what I'm saying? I know some people ain't feeling Will Smith right now, but I feel like he played a very important character in this film. So definitely check it out. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my review for The Pursuit of Happyness. Next week, we're going to be starting a new lineup. We're going to be doing movies for the ladies. So definitely stay tuned for that. And I will get with y'all then. All right. Peace.